And welcome to the presentation about ORDAO Fractal. I'm Dan, and I'm here with Tadas, the lead developer of ORDAO, and Rosemary, a core community member who's been supporting the development of ORDAO, and we're excited to give you an overview of the ORDAO Fractal app.
Hello.
Hello.
Sounds good. We're having some fun here. So we're presenting ORDAO Fractal app, enabling on-chain democratic coordination for base batches. We really appreciate the opportunity and hope you enjoy. The ORDAO Fractal app is a governance interface that enables decentralized communities to execute on-chain actions democratically, overcoming voter apathy while maintaining high security, making it easy for communities to execute on-chain transactions while protecting the community's interests and making sure it represents the will of the community. You can see the ORDAO Fractal app here at ordao.fraps.xyz. On the screen, you see a couple of test proposals that were created when it was deployed on base. And on the left side of the screen, you see tabs for new proposal, playing the respect game, submitting breakout groups, parent respect, child respect, and about, which I'll get into in a little bit. But first, I'll give a little overview of ORDAO more generally. So we have an article at optimistics.io/ORDAO where you can learn about this optimistic respect-based governance infrastructure and governance app. I encourage you to check out the article to learn more. ORDAO is based around something called the optimistic respect-based executive contract, and it's also based upon the respect game and respect tokens, which we'll provide a brief preview about here. And on this article, we have more about the technical architecture and developer resources and benefits and use cases and lots of videos that you can explore. ORDAO comes from a process called fractal democracy, which we see as the natural evolution of governance throughout society. We've been building fractal democracy and building tools for fractal democracy for about 4 years. This article also provides a very detailed overview of fractal democracy for people who want to dive into the details. Basically, at a high level overview, similar to how nature uses self-similar patterns to build complex systems from simple rules, like how a tree branches out into branches and smaller branches and leaves and so forth. Fractal democracy enables groups to scale their decision making while preserving and fostering real, genuine human connection. We have gamified the process of fractal democracy into a wonderful game called the Respect Game that we see as a revolutionary framework for community growth. And again, we have an article here with more details, but basically the way it works is that participants gather into randomized groups of 3 to 6 people, usually coming together in a big group first and then going to these random groups. And then each person in the group will share what they've done to contribute to a common cause for a few minutes. And then after everybody shares what they've done to contribute to that common cause, they'll work to rank each other's contribution, who helped the most, who helped the second most, who helped the third most and fourth most, and so forth. And if the group comes to consensus about those rankings, then everybody will receive respect tokens, and people will receive more respect tokens if they receive higher ranks. This is where people earn their respect tokens, which serve at the core and the heart of the ORDAO smart contracts in the ORDAO system. The respect tokens are non-transferable ERC1155 tokens that serve as both a commemorative record of people's contributions to a community, on-chain and verifiable, and also serve as the foundation of the reputation system in ORDAO and in fractal democracy in general that enables community members to govern accounts in a decentralized manner and execute actions by voting with their respect tokens. I invite you to explore optimistics.io/respect and optimistics.io/respect game to learn more about the respect token and the game that underpin ORDAO. Over the past 4 years, there have been hundreds of contributors and dozens of communities who have contributed to the development of fractal democracy. One of the main problems has been that there's been limited software to actually practice fractal democracy and execute on-chain transactions on-chain. This has inspired Tadas to build ORDAO over the past year, and you can see we have a playlist with 16 videos since he started building ORDAO last year, tracking his progress, where he has presented at various community events, including ORDAO office hours, where he gave overviews and deep dives into the ORDAO software and gave more thorough previews as he was building the app over the past couple of weeks. And now, with the new ORDAO front end that Tadas has built, ORDAO is ready to solve some big problems. So, what problems does the ORDAO Fractal app solve? We'll start by talking about the governance dilemma and the difficult trade-offs in decentralized governance. Over the years, communities often needed to choose between security and liveness. Will they be able to execute transactions at all? And will those transactions be secure and in the interest of the community? DAOs have often tried to put in high participation requirements, but as a result, governance stalls due to voter apathy or voter fatigue. They often also try to put in low participation requirements, but if they do that, then security can be more easily compromised and more vulnerable to capture. And as a result, most DAOs today rely on multi-sig arrangement or centralized controls. And as a consequence, the true decentralization and autonomy of the community is sacrificed just for operational necessity. ORDAO solves these problems with OREC, the optimistic respect-based executive contract that's at the core of ORDAO. This uses an innovative approach with an optimistic consent-based governance with time-delayed execution. It requires a low initial quorum so proposals can proceed and be executed with minimal support from the community. And it includes a veto period where community members can easily block contentious proposals. And it's all based upon respect tokens, the non-transferable reputation earned by contributing to the community's mission in an incredibly neutral peer evaluation process, the respect game. You can learn more about OREC in the GitHub repository for ORDAO, where Tadas has done a great job of outlining the motivation for OREC and ORDAO as a whole, as well as details about the OREC approach and the specific specifications, including the variables and the mechanism, which is quite elegantly expressed in 9 points here. There's two periods, so a voting period and a veto period. During the veto period, people can only vote no, whereas in the voting period, people can vote yes or no. Every vote is weighted by the amount of respect a voter has according to the respect contract at the time of the vote, and a proposal is said to be passed if all the conditions hold as follows. The voting period and the veto period time has passed since the proposal creation. At least the minimum proposal threshold of respect is voting yes, and over two-thirds of people are voting yes, not no, by the end of these periods. So that's basically the core mechanism of ORDAO. And here's an overview of key benefits showing why ORDAO transformed governance. So ORDAO enables efficient operations that allow decisions to move forward quickly, robust security where contentious proposals are easily blocked, true decentralization with no need for centralized parties or trusted operators, democratic control with voting power earned through contribution, and practical implementation where it can be implemented with communities of all sizes. ORDAO is currently in use by a community called Optimism Fractal for over past 6 months. The smart contracts have been in use, and it previously required this technical expertise because it only had a command line interface. But now Tadas has built the new front-end interface to make it accessible to all community members, make it much more visual and intuitive. And it's applicable to all Fractal communities because it's an ecosystem of Fractal communities, but also really beneficial to all DAOs or all communities that want to govern more effectively and more enjoyably and more efficiently. Now I'll give you a deeper dive into the ORDAO Fractal app. Right now we're on the About page in the Intent section, where it explains an overview of the ORDAO Fractal community, which is dedicated to developing ORDAO software and supporting communities that use it. You can see the specifications for the respect token here, and also specifically for the ORDAO respect, as well as the smart contracts where the parent respect and child respect are deployed. So the parent respect is the respect distribution and the respect holders who are able to govern the community count, and then they issue child respect, new respect to people who play the respect game or issue respect in or earn respect in different ways by making proposals and having those proposals executed. And you can also see the specifications for ORDAO as well here with the voting period, veto period, max live votes, proposal weight threshold, and respect contract. And more details here. Encourage you to look in for a more detailed look. And you can also see the current specifications that the app is configured to for each of these variables in the App State tab. Here is the parent respect contract, and you can see everybody who's participated in ORDAO office hours over the past several months since TOS has been hosting these, where we've been playing respect games and people have been earning respect by contributing to the ORDAO software. This respect token distribution is currently deployed on the OP mainnet, and Tadas has now also deployed it on Base, and the app is now fully running on Base. You can explore the user guide for an overview of how the ORDAO Fractal app works. You can see the core concepts such as respect tokens, OREC proposals, and parent and child respect, and an overview of the interface, the navigation bar on the left side, and the various proposal types and proposal states, and how to view proposals and vote on proposals and create a proposal, execute proposal, and so forth. There's a detailed overview here, as well as the console interface where you can interact with more advanced functionality of the ORDAO Fractal app. And yeah, I think now would be a good time for me to show you a little bit more around the app. So we saw the active proposals tab before, and now if I wanted to create a new proposal, I could simply go to the new proposal tab and Tadas has created several pre-configured proposals here that are related to respect games, distributing respect after respect game. Also, minting respect to an account if somebody does something good, burning respect if the community wants to remove respect from account for some reason, tick, which can move to the next event, custom signal, and custom call. The custom call allows interacting with any smart contract on base and set periods. There's also a play respect game tab over here too, where there's another developer in the community who has built a Respect Game app that makes it really intuitive to play the Respect Game. It's called Fractalgram, but for the purpose of this demo, we'll just focus on the governance functionality of the ORDAO Fractal app and encourage you to check out the Respect Game information for more details about that, and also join the events if you'd like to try to play the Respect Game. The submit breakout results is also related to the respect game after people play the respect game. And then from the parent respect and child respect, that's where you can go to see the accounts on base. That's a quick overview of the ORDAO Fractal app. And one last thing I'll show you before we get into our demo is this communities page here. So in addition to the ORDAO Fractal community, there are two communities who are using ORDAO called Optimism Fractal and Eden Fractal. Optimism Fractal is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the superchain. You can learn more and join the Optimism Fractal events at optimismfractal.com to play the Respect game and try the ORDAO software there. And Eden Fractal is a community dedicated to optimizing collective decision making through collaborative research, development, education, gamification, and community engagement, supporting the development of ORDAO, Fractal Democracy, Respect games, etc. And both of these communities have their own respect token distributions and hold events and are using the ORDAO software to cooperate more effectively. And of course, you can also check out the ORDAO Fractal playlist too, and all the events so far where we've played the respect game specifically to improve ORDAO. So everybody's welcome to join these events. And with that, let's demo the app. Now Tadas will present his screen.
Yeah, so now we're, we will go through a certain scenario. So we will go into our roles here as for example, as a developer of this, let's say I decide that I deserve more recognition for the work I did on this front end, let's say, and uh, I decide that to mint myself more respect. And this is important because, as Dan said, the respect represents reputation in the system, and we bootstrap security on bootstrap voting on these tokens. So yeah, so but I decide that I want to mint myself some respect, so I go first of all into new proposals tab and select what I want to do. So I put in proposal title respect for front-end work. And then meeting number, mint type, and group number are only relevant for respect when it's issued through respect games. So we skip that here and I input my account address, value, this is the amount of respect that is being issued. Let's say 50, and for the title, I say award for DAO content, and reason I did more than others. Yeah, click next. Here we can have a final review of proposal that we are submitting. Click submit. Sign it with the wallet, and yeah, wait a bit till the transaction is confirmed. And here it is, and yeah, here is the proposal that I just created. You see all the details and everything. And yeah, then back to you.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks for the demo, Tadas, and I think you deserve a whole lot of respect for sure for everything you've done for building ORDAO and this front end. But I don't know if this proposal should be approved, because I mean, usually we just earn respect through the respect game, like you said. Like as I discussed before, it's a very incredibly neutral way to distribute respect. That's how we've always distributed respect in the past so far. And we could distribute respect where we just distribute respect to ourselves now that we have this beautiful front end to be able to distribute it like you did there, 50 respect. But I don't know if that's a good precedent to set right now, or at least I think maybe it's worth talking about it more with other community members. As I shared, previously, there's if we went to the block explorer, there's about 10 or 12 other people who have participated in the ORDAO Fractal events so far, or the ORDAO office hours and earned respect. So I don't know how they'd feel about that if you just distribute your respect. And 50 is kind of a lot. For a bit of context, Tadas has, what is it, 396 respect that you have? You have 398 respect. You can see that on the interface here, and I have 196, I think, something like that. And Rosemary has somewhere around 50. And people have gotten this by participating in the events over months, and by using our system for the respect game. So I think that I should vote no on this. And just by the way, too, for any of you watching, this is usually well, first maybe I'll just vote no, just so I get that out of the way, because I think that one of the ideas with ORDAO is that even though I think Tadas deserves a huge amount of respect, I'm not sure if Tadas deserves the respect right now, like in this way. And we can always make another proposal in the future if we do think that Tadas deserves 50 respect, or maybe if we want to give him 25 respect, or maybe 100, who knows? But I think it's better off if we think about it more as a community first. Maybe we ask the other community members, or we just have more time to discuss it. So that's why I'm voting no right now. Tadas, I greatly appreciate it, but voting no for the time being. We had mentioned before, if you go to the about page, then and you go to the consensus process, there's variables for voting period 3 days and veto period 3 days. So usually this gives the community about a week to decide if they want to change their mind about something, so people can have time to review. But for the demo purposes, Tadas has made that 4 minutes each for the voting period and veto period. And so if I go back to the proposals page, we'll see actually that it has now gone through the voting stage. And actually, I didn't have enough respect to outweigh Tadas's respect. So the way it works, if you go to the About page, and you see so it needs a minimum threshold of 62 votes in order to proceed to the next stage. And then it needs to receive at least 2/3 of yes votes in order to proceed to the next stage or be executed. And in this case, Tadas has 68%, I have 32%. You can see a little marker here that shows that it's over 66%. So that means that the proposal will be approved right now once the 3 minutes ends for this veto period stage. So now I'll ask on Rosemary because Rosemary, I think that we should, I think for the reasons why I said before, we should veto this proposal, and I am asking you to vote no so we can think about it. Rosemary, what do you think?
Okay, so far I've been restraining myself from voting because I haven't really been following so closely the ORDAO Fractal and what you guys been working on. I have some respect. I've attended some meetings, but I'm not too sure whether to vote yet or not. And Dan has raised some valid concerns on why we should not vote because we're not following the respect game process like we usually do. So since now the proposal is in veto stage, during this period only no votes count, and this is a critical security feature of ORDAO because it gives community members time to organize themselves and against contentious proposals, such as this one, sorry to that, but I think I'll vote no. So I'll vote no right now and sign
Okay.
the transaction.
Only a minute left. Let's see if we'll get to vote no in time. The tension is building. Thanks,
Yes,
Rosemary.
success.
Success.
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel like this way, it gives more time for the community to actually organize themselves and discuss this more. So it kind of gives more time for the community to react.
All right. Well said, Rosemary. I agree. Well, now we can see that the proposal failed. Sorry, Tadas. But you'll get your respect next time. We'll figure out ways to get you more respect. You do have a lot already, but yeah, you can see it's failed in red, and you can see it is now expired and it's not executed. And you can now see if you look at the visual indicator on the bottom, Tadas had 63% of votes, so he almost had enough votes to get it approved. But because Rosemary and me, we have less respect, but we still have enough that we can pass that 33% barrier, which means that there's not enough community consensus to really clearly show that the community wants this and that should be approved. Of course, if we do want to approve it, or if we do want to decide to give Tadas 50 respect or however much, then Tadas is always welcome to make another proposal, or any of us can make a proposal for him on his behalf. Or if we decide Rosemary, Rosemary just made a great decision, I think. Rosemary deserves some more respect too, then that's something we could do. We could go back to mint respect to an account over there and do the same thing. And then that process would repeat and we'd be able to do that as much as we want, as well as if there are any other proposals that we'd want to make for custom call or anything else like that, then we could do that through this interface. And this allows us to make these decisions quickly without too much hassle. And then when we talk about it, and then we can execute it quickly when the committee has sufficient consensus.
Regarding technical architecture, yeah, so at the contract level, there are three contracts you can see in the diagram here in white. So first OREC is the core smart contract where proposals get proposed and voting happens. And for all votes are weighted by respect token balances of accounts, and for that it uses the what is called all respect contract in the diagram, or what we also call sometimes parent respect, and in the front end it's called parent respect. And yeah, and when it comes to minting respect, or like I just wanted to do, it would have issued new respect. So the one on the right side, or what we call child respect. Yeah, so parent respect is the respect which governs, and the child respect is the one which is being issued. Could go more into detail about the upgrade mechanism that this enables, but that's for a later time. And yeah, regarding other components, there is a backend service which is implemented in Node.js, and it listens for blockchain events and stores proposal metadata and respect token metadata. And then on the client side, there is a library called ORClient, which abstracts all the complexity in communication with the backend and the blockchain. And it's also already used by Fractalgram, an app built by other community member where we play respect game. So that app uses our client to submit respect game results to our DAO system.
And thanks to Das for the technical architecture overview. Once again, I encourage people to explore the repositories. Contributions are very welcome, and encourage you to check out ordao.fraps.xyz to learn more about it and try it out. And once again, you can find links to these. I have to update this article now that Tadas has built a new front end, so a little bit outdated, but you can find a lot of links to things like the video playlist and so forth, and more details about the respect game and respect tokens and the fractal democracy and all that in the optimistics.io/ORDAO. That's mystic spelled with a Y. And you can check out the video playlist for the ORDAO Fractal to see a deep dive. If you start with the first one, it gives you a full and comprehensive overview for an introduction here. And then I also would like to invite everybody to the upcoming ORDAO Fractal events as well. So as I said, Tadas has recently been hosting ORDAO office hours videos, but it's transitioning into ORDAO Fractal.
First ORDAO Fractal meeting, I invite everyone to come to learn more about ORDAO, and that's where we play respect game for the So we didn't demonstrate that here, but it's a core mechanism of this process. Yeah, so it's on next upcoming Tuesday, the first ORDAO Fractal meeting. And then week after that, there will be ORDAO Fractal meeting number 2. So feel free to come to either of these meetings.
We would love to see you there, and you can earn some respect from the ORDAO Fractal community. And yeah, we also invite you to join the Eden Fractal events and Optimism Fractal events as well, where, like I said, Optimism Fractal has been using ORDAO for several months, and Tadas is also planning to deploy the new app shortly for Optimism Fractal. Everybody's welcome to join these events and share your contributions to what you're building on base, what you're building on the superchain, and earn Optimism Fractal respect. And Eden Fractal, I didn't really go over these too much, but Eden Fractal is a community that's supporting the development of ORDAO and fractal democracy and respect games in general. And these alternate on Thursdays at 7 EDC. And both of these, you can have the opportunity to play the respect game to earn respect from these communities, as well as use the ORDAO app with the respect and participate in the communities. And there's a bunch of amazing people there. And so we hope to see you there, as well as at the upcoming ORDAO Fractal events. And feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We appreciate any feedback and looking forward to hear what you think. Yeah, we appreciate your time, and we hope you enjoy ORDAO.
Go ORDAO!
Go ORDAO! All right. Well, thank you.
Go
Bye-bye.
ORDAO.
And go ORDAO.